hyperinflation is not rational. Hyperinflation is emotional. And hyperinflation is a result of you losing all faith in the government being able to steer the ship. And you are basically market selling everything you can to take the money out. You don't really care what the price is. You stop doing the math because the exchange is moving so fast that whatever math you do won't be the settlement you get once you place the trade. So you just start basically thinking in extremes, and you just say, I want whatever you give me for it. And therefore, asset prices get completely depressed in real terms. Nominal terms, they might still be okay. But when you go and try to get the currency out, that's when you really get crushed, because the currency is what's getting debased to infinity. Nobody wants to hold it. So the country's falling apart. My parents are strongly encouraging my youngest brother to do something abroad. But my youngest brother doesn't want to leave. And I know it sounds crazy to not want to leave a place like Venezuela, but what people don't often appreciate about migrating is that there's the financial element and there's the economic element, but you also have to consider all the people that you can't take with you. So relatives, family, the people that gave you that raised you, the friends that taught you a lot of the things you knew, the people you work with, your employees. It creates this very big toll on you to basically leave and see others that can't or aren't as suited to do so. So I understood where he was coming from. I applaud the spirit of fighting when the fight is fair, right? But in Venezuela, it wasn't a fair fight. Still, he didn't want to leave. So my dad, very reluctantly, because by the time he pitched the Bitcoin opportunity, he had already pitched like 6 or 7 other things. And my dad was just at his limit saying, please leave. Like, I'm not going to support anything that requires staying here. But by the time he presents the Bitcoin opportunity, my brother had gotten so much conviction around Bitcoin from his research and speaking to his friends that were doing it, that he gave my dad pretty much like an ultimatum. And he was like, you either fund this or I'm leaving the house. I am going to do this with or without you. So, you can either support me or not. And so my dad sends me the white paper that night. I had gone to business school, so he wanted me to, check this out from a financial point of view. So I take a look at the white paper. It wasn't to me that moment where when I read the white paper and all of a sudden I saw the Matrix. I read the white paper, and what I thought about it at the beginning was, okay, here are the miners. The miners are sort of the protectors of the network. They do the heavy lifting so that the network is kept safe and orderly and propose the transactions to the nodes. And because of this, they use a lot of power. They use a lot of internet and the hardware. The hardware is the same no matter where you buy it from. The internet can change depending on where you are, and the energy can change depending on where you are. In Venezuela, we had the cheapest energy and the cheapest hydro, and we were buying the same ASICs as everyone else. So I thought we had a big edge. And the output of that activity was a globally sellable asset, which in Venezuela meant you could sell it in a market that wasn't subject to the capital controls and horrible restrictions.
And it's not a mass liquidation market that everything else was.
Correct. And everybody wants it. So you had a good that you could produce that the world wanted and that you could buy with US dollars in a market where you couldn't sell anything for its real true value. And all the money or instruments around you were getting either hyperinflated away, or you were getting punished by hoarding, they said, more than one house, hoarding more than one car, hoarding more than 4 tires. Because you started trading away the bolivars for anything that would store its value. But as you kept these things, these store of value assets, the government basically started coming after the stockpiles of anything that you were monetizing, because what they really wanted you was to hold the hot potato they were printing that nobody wanted to hold. But then, in the middle of this, my brother brings the machines. He found a way of basically monetizing, in many ways, a government subsidy into an output that could be sold globally for the thing that everybody wanted, which was US dollars. And
it's kind of cute that you're actually arbitraging the government subsidies and getting dollars out the other side. It's like payback.
Poetic. It's poetic. And this is exactly what people in China were doing too. And this is exactly because a lot of these authoritarian/communist regimes, they buy your vote with subsidies. And Bitcoin is a very beautiful way of flying those subsidies and that attempt to purchase my will back on you and mirror it back to you, and basically use it to put more pressure on you to do the right thing. So when he starts mining it, clearly he's ecstatic because he's doing very, very well. And so he starts growing the mine. And, as people come to him, he's the only guy in Venezuela walking around with a smile. Everyone else is forced liquidating everything, whereas my brother is saying, "Oh, you're leaving? Do you have any space available? Can I rent your industrial space? What's the electricity capacity
He's got
of
a
your
free money machine going."
So then, not surprisingly, all of my brother's friends start saying, "What are you doing? Teach me more about this. How can you be in a position to rent a place where everyone else is giving them up for free and you are the one taking the lease? How?" And then friends start asking, "What are you doing?" He says, "I'm mining Bitcoin. Let me show you how." And so he starts touring people around his facilities. He starts helping his friends mine. He starts helping. My dad starts mining. My brother starts mining. My cousins start mining. My uncles start mining.
Of course.
Everyone starts mining. In Venezuela, there was a point where I would say probably 60 or 70% of every electrical outlet had some form of GPU, ASIC, or other type of miner plugged into it. It became a viral phenomenon because you could basically plug into the wall and get hard money out of it.
Hey, thanks for sticking around to the end. Look, if you enjoyed it, hit the subscribe button and check out the video here on the right-hand side. I'm sure you'll enjoy that one as well. And if you're ready for more, go to realvision.com/join. I'll see you there.